Hello, you are welcome to another edition of Find Clarity, and your host is Alec Muhoho. Recently, I was reading a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and in one of the chapters, he mentioned the 6 common fears of mankind. And I will talk about those fears in great detail in this channel of Find Clarity. And the fear we are going to start with is today we are going to talk about the fear of death. Next week we are going to talk about the fear of poverty. We're going to talk about the fear of illness. We're going to talk about the fear of failure. We're going to talk about the fear of rejection. We're also going to talk about the fear of old age. Those are the basic fears that Napoleon Hill mentioned. And from time immemorial, it seems that fear has been the greatest problem of mankind. Fear will never go away. Fear will always be with us, but we need to know how to deal with it. Okay, let's go straight. We talk about the fear of death. I have been thinking about the subject that most of us escape. We don't like to think about it, but it keeps on happening again and again into our lives as humanity, and that is the fear of death. Some of you may be tempted to switch off this channel today for fear of handling this subject. But people who are not willing to face their fear of death, of the possibility of death, they are not likely to utilize their only life they have today. Okay, from time immemorial, some people have been saying that let's not focus about life of now, let us focus in the life after and forever. So they do not live into this life, they only wait for the life after this life. There are others who feel that instead of focusing about life after this life, let us only focus here and now and forget about the future and forget about life after this life. Whenever you attend funerals, you find that most people, in their hearts of heart, they feel that death is far away from them. They feel that it's for somebody else but not to them. But sometimes we wonder. You find a child of 3 years old dying, you find a mother dying, a father dying, great people dying, you find rich people dying, poor people dying, black people dying, white people dying, Chinese dying. And remember, COVID-19 pandemic has really come to remind us about our mortality. In a fraction of a second, your life could be gone. So I'm not here to scare you, but I just want you to think about death in a healthy way. There's also thinking about death in an unhealthy way. Why do we have to think about death in a healthy way? One, if you think about death, that's where the word deadline comes from. When people don't have deadline in their work, they tend not to get anything done. But if you have a deadline, you will do all you can to complete your work because you know that you don't have time. So death is there to remind us that we don't have time. Imagine if you had no fear or feeling of death or even a thought of death, how much time are you wasting right now? So if you know that one day this life of yours will be no more, definitely you learn how to utilize your time very well. So I just want you to remove the fear of death and be willing to face and embrace death. Now, death, there are people of different cultures have different ways of reacting towards death. There are those when someone has died, they cry a lot, they wail a lot. There are those who laugh even in funerals as if nothing has happened, but deep down in their hearts they are concerned. There are those who are insensitive to their loved ones who have lost their loved ones. They say, why don't you forget about this person? You move on with your life. Can you imagine you have just lost somebody now and somebody just tells you move on with your life? Really, death is personal. Death is personal. This reminds me of a story many years ago, and I'm sure that it's going to help you and me. Many years ago, there was a woman who lost her only child of 10 years, and she cried, she wailed a lot, and she said that I want my son back to life. And somebody told her that you go and meet a wise man known as Buddha, who will help you to bring back your son. And this woman went to Buddha, and Buddha listened to her attentively. And later on, Buddha told that woman who had lost her son that in order to have your son back, you have to go around the world looking for a mustard seed from a family that has not lost anyone. That woman went for family in a village A. She was told, oh, there is an old man who has died. There is a grandfather died. A grandmother died. Somewhere else they said it's a husband who died. A child died. She went all over the world. And later on, she found out that her son could not be brought to life. But it lessened her pain when she realized that she's not the only one who has gone through that pain. So in summary, I would like us to remember that let's have empathy for people who have lost their loved ones. Let us not be insensitive by telling them that they should move on with life and tell them things that hurt them even more. It is a tragedy to lose someone. It is painful to lose a loved one, because it takes even to some people many years to recover, and some don't recover at all. So the best way to honor those people who have passed away before us, I think, is to maximize our potential. When we maximize our potential, then we are able to respect those people who have left us. Also, I want us to learn that death is here to teach us to appreciate that life is precious. Many people have a habit of knowing the value of 2 eyes until they lose 1 eye. Why do you have to wait for someone to pass away in your family before you show them that you value them? People have a tendency sometimes even to value people who have died more than the people who are living. I have seen a situation whereby when someone is in hospital and they need some money for that person to recover, many people may not appear in hospital, but when someone has died in funeral, they will come in big numbers and they can even contribute a lot of money. It's like as if they are saying that you are good riddance, you have gone. Their actions speak louder than words. So, since we are talking about the fear of death, one of the ways to overcome the fear of death is choosing a big goal, a cause that is bigger than your own life. Life is not about eating, sleeping, accumulating or getting. Life is contributing and giving. If you focus about giving to even one person, let's forget about the whole humanity. Even if you focus in making one person in your lifetime happy, that makes you overcome the fear of death. And remember, you don't have a lot of time to waste. If you have an idea to write a book, please write a book. Don't allow procrastination to stop you, because anyway, we are all sentenced to death. The difference is none of us knows when and how it will happen. So on that few notes of how to overcome fear of death, you can pray to God to help you to overcome it, and you have to face it, to face the fear of death head on, so that you may be able to do what God created you to do in the world. And thank you for listening to me. You are with your host in this program, Find Clarity, Alec Muhoho. I request you to share, to comment, and subscribe on this channel where you learn real lessons about life. Have a good day.